The Xbox showcase did not disappoint because the very first trailer they showed us was, of course, Fable.
What? How about that? Isn't that amazing?
It's been 2 years since the last trailer and there's been no other official communication, which has caused the internet to be rife with guesswork and speculation. Oh hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. Even the Playground Games website hasn't been updated in quite some time in regards to Fable. Although the trailer was only 1 minute and 40 seconds long, there's a lot to take away and digest. Of course, I'll suggest if you haven't already, go check out the trailer, but if like me, you're so starved for information, you've probably already watched the trailer at least 10 times. So, without further delay, let's jump into the trailer and what it might mean for the future of Fable.
Oh, we're finally doing this, are we? Because I was going to make a sandwich. Okay. Let's do it.
I'm a huge fan of Richard Ayoade, and to see him in the trailer, just honestly, it made my day.
It's too real, Roy, it's too real.
Richard is famous for his roles in The It Crowd, Travel Man, and of course The Mandalorian. But the fact that he had such a notorious British comedian / actor just goes to show the intent that they have for this title. Previous Fable titles had famous actors such as John Cleese, Stephen Fry, Simon Pegg, and the list goes on. I'm sure Richard is just one of many famous actors who will be in the new Fable. Although, sad to say, looking at the trailer, I'm not too sure if Richard actually makes it past the intro.
I'm dying. Help me.
This is awkward.
There was also massive hints as to when the story might be set. The original trailer gave very little in terms of any sort of information, but from what people could tell, it was pre-industrial. And everything in this trailer hints towards a more simpler time, a more fairy tale time, and dare I say it, a prequel. Although this title has been referred to as Fable 4, because it is technically the 4th in the series, we just won't talk about the Kinect game and the one that obviously didn't come out. We'll just hush that aside, or the card game. We'll just ignore all those, just don't worry about those. But anyway, I digress. It's called Fable because I think it's simply a standalone title. It's not following on from anything, it is just its own thing. With the inclusion of a beanstalk and a giant and obviously the fairy, it kind of hints at the fact that we might be going back to a more mythical fairy tale time, which in all honesty, I'm quite excited about. In my last video, I touched on the fact that the development team behind this doesn't include any of the original employees from the previous Fable titles. And with this came a concern that would they be able to capture that Fable essence. And with that being said, in the trailer, you can see that they've tried to work in the nostalgia of the previous Fables. They talk about a hero, an unnamed hero at that.
What do I think about heroes? Well, we've all seen them, haven't we?
The main character in the trailer was obviously a female protagonist, but if you know anything about any other Fable title, you have a choice between which male or female role you'd like to take. And I think it's probably going to go down a very similar path. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but he did say heroes as in plural, so who knows, maybe there'll be some sort of co-op aspect, but let's be honest, it's probably way too early to speculate. The trailer also incorporated the typical British humour which is associated with Fable.
Comically massive weapons.
Wanker.
The British have such an advanced sense of humor.
And of course, they included our hero kicking a chicken. Because let's be honest, if you're not kicking a chicken, is it even a Fable game? Something that is worth noting is that at the start of the trailer, it said in-game footage. A lot of eyebrows were raised when originally Playground Games were selected to produce Fable. It was believed it was because of their Forza Tech game engine. And so far, everything in this trailer has pointed to the fact that they've made the right choice. I think you had to look closely to spot the actual gameplay parts because a lot of it was just cutscenes. There was a hint of combat, there's also a action sequence. I'm assuming that there'll be some sort of cinematic gameplay where you have to push A at the right time or go to this location within a time limit just so that it plays out in a more story-driven manner. There wasn't even much to show in terms of combat other than one fireball being chucked at someone and of course the fact that she has a sword. From what I could see as well, there weren't no pistols or muskets, which once again lends to the theory that it's a pre-industrial time. Overall though, I think they've captured the essence of Fable and I think a lot of people will be happy with the trailer. However, there's one thing that people haven't been told yet, and that is of course the release date. In my last video, we had a guesstimate as to when this started development, and there was a tweet which led to speculation it was back in 2017. So here we are 6 years later, and we now have 2 trailers. But is that enough to give us a rough idea as to when Fable will be released? One of the first things I checked after this trailer was the Playground Games website to see if they had any other updates on there. And guess what? They don't. The development of this title has been such a closely guarded secret that it's just even amazing that they advertised jobs for this game. Which, in case you're wondering, yes, they are still hiring, and some of these roles do seem to be quite senior. So once again, it throws it up into the air as to how far along into the development are they actually with this title. My speculation is when they dropped the first trailer, it took them 2 years to come up with the next trailer, so I'll give it another 2 years and we'll have some gameplay footage. Of course, I'm joking. I generally think that this game might release sometime next year if we're lucky. They did say it'll be before Elder Scrolls 6, so that gives us a timeline of 2023 up into 2040. But listen, the main takeaway is the fact that there's a trailer. They added it to the Xbox showcase, which means it's very unlikely to get cancelled. I mean, it was literally the first video that they showed, which kind of says to me that they're really counting on this game to be good. Overall, I'm very happy with the trailer. It captured the essence of Fable, and I think a lot of die-hard fans will also agree with me that it just had a really good feel about it. But with so many cancellations in the past and what seems to be a very long development time, you can understand why people will still be skeptical, and let's be completely honest, will the game even be any good? Fable 3 was released almost 13 years ago. To say that expectations for the next Fable are high would be somewhat of an understatement. It's very unusual in modern day game development for a studio to be so secretive about what they're actually producing. Most studios will give snippets of concept art, maybe a little tweet about the gameplay, or just a general set expectation as to how the development is going. You know, maybe a tweet to say, don't panic, we are still making this game. But in the case of Fable, honestly, radio silence, there's not much to really report on. So the fact that I was able to make 2 whole videos about Fable, I mean, you have to give me credit where credit's due. But anyway, I'm going to spend the next couple of months playing Fable 3 and just getting lost in a nostalgia hole, wondering what could have been with Fable Legends and will I still be around when Fable finally releases. As always, I'd love to hear from you guys, so feel free to comment below, let me know your thoughts on the trailer, and of course, if you have liked the video, leave a like, and if you want to see more of me, subscribe, and I'll leave a couple of videos on the screen right now, which you might find interesting. And on that, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.